Hi there, in this video we're gonna take a look at the Lattice modifier. This is probably one of my favorite modifiers, but it's not generally not used that much. I just find it so easy to work with that I think more people should work with it. So this modifiers, let's just like all modifiers, find under the range tab, and it's a deform modifier down here, Lattice. And once we add this, it's not going to do anything for us. We can see that by this red background here on the name. So that just tells us it's not in use right now because we need some kind of input. So what we need is an object here, and I'll just Shift A and I'll add a lattice object. There, it's needed for this modifier to work. So just scale that up a bit. On this modifier, we actually got most of the settings that we can use to kind of manipulate how this is going to work. The monkey here only has the modifier which says how strong is the influence going to be by this lattice, what lattice are we going to use, and what vertex by this vertex group are going to be affected. So the strength, how much, what will be affected, and by what object. In most cases we only need to select an object here, and the strength can in most cases be put to 1 there. So I'll just select the lattice now and go into this object data properties. And the most useful tools in here in most cases is going to be the resolution and possibly the interpolation. So these U, V and W just corresponds to X, Y and Z coordinates, and the interpolation is kind of how this monkey is going to be deformed based on the lattice changes and how that interpretation is going to go. So by default they're all B-spline. We can go like linear. And if you don't know about these different interpretation types, just try them out. B-spline is like a curved, smoothed fall off, while for instance linear is just a straight line. There's no difference in interpretation there. It's just a linear interpretation. So let's just go into edit mode with the lattice selected. You can see that I can box select this. We get access to these corners here, and we can increase and decrease the resolution on each axis for this lattice by going to U, for instance, V and W here to increase this, and we can have any number we want in any direction. So let's say that we go with the 222, start with that, just like we started, and I just select this and just grab that. And you can see that when these points go from their original location to some other location, the monkey will be deformed accordingly. So if we manage to get this back into its original position, the monkey will be in its original position again. So we can deform any object like this. This is perfect, for instance, when you want to position one object in relation to another. Maybe you have like a cloth piece lying over a couch, but it's not really lying perfectly. So you just add a lattice and just slightly move these control points and have that be put exactly where you want it. Right. Just keep in mind that as we add multiple points, the deformation will change. You can see that the monkey changes as we adjust these, and that is because when we add more points, all of these points will be part of the interpretation. So we have to be a bit careful here to not deform our object and then we say, oh, I would just want a little bit more control, and so we change or add a couple of these. In some cases that's going to be totally fine and just keep deforming by hand, and in some cases we might not want to do that. So what we can do instead, let's say that this was just almost the perfect transformation, but not really, because we have an area down here, for instance, that we weren't happy with. In that case, we can add a second lattice, select the monkey and add another lattice modifier, just select the next one in line here, and then according to this we can then transform just this portion, for instance, and we can add a vertex group if we think that, oh, but these points here should not affect this entire portion in the front face here. So that's just the lattice modifier, and it's a very good modifier to know about and to think about. Most of the time the problem is that we don't remember what tools we have to work with, so we think like we limit ourselves to one or a few tools, and then realize that, oh, this other tool could have saved us like half an hour or whatever. So the lattice is one such tool that can just make a simple deform with some custom movements, and then just be done with it. We can always apply our modifiers, delete our lattices, and we have this deformed monkey to continue working on in edit mode or whatever. So I hope this was informative. It was the lattice modifier, and just thank you for viewing. Bye.